everybody, it's Gypsy, and today we're going to talk about goldenrod. And as you can see, it was time, the tomato plants outside of the greenhouse, it was time to pull them up. So I just collected all my green tomatoes and I'm waiting for those to ripen. But anyways, goldenrod. Yesterday my girls and I, and when I say my girls, I'm talking about my 2 female cats. I have 3 cats. My male cat, Draco, extremely affectionate, only when I'm sitting down though. Other than that, he's usually like in the house sleeping, or he's outside hunting or doing whatever it is male cats do. My 2 female cats, when I'm out in the yard working, they follow me everywhere. They're my little helpers. So I went out and foraged goldenrod yesterday. I have a little short on them helping me out. So me and the girls, we went and we got some goldenrod. What I did was I put this in my dehydrator, and I dehydrated this. So right now I have mugwort in there. This will be my second batch of mugwort. And then I'm going to go out later today into my cottage garden and harvest spearmint to dehydrate that. So what I do is I want enough of these herbs to last me for a year. Also, I package some up to sell in my booth at the flea market. Herbs are so important, and I think especially now that many of us are awakening to the truth of modern medicine. Now, I feel modern medicine does have its place. It's great for triage, but when you're talking on an everyday basis, you may want to learn more about herbs, okay? Now, I am not a professional herbalist. It is just something I've always been interested in, and it's something I do. I just like it. But please consult with your doctor before taking any of this. So with goldenrod, for the physical benefits, of course, inflammation, but it is really, really good like for your bladder and your urinary tract. It will increase urine flow. So if you're having trouble with that, you want to take some goldenrod tea, okay? Now, if you do this, you want to make sure you also drink plenty of water, okay? Now, I don't know if you guys can see a cat popped up in the window. Yes, ma'am. I think she wants to come in. I'm going to put you guys on hold for a second. Do you want to come in? Yes? Okay, well, meet me by the door, okay? I have to walk around to the back door and let her in. Okay, got us in and is back inside. I think we can continue now. She's in the kitchen. Okay, so yes, bladder, urinary flow. If you take the tea, please make sure you drink plenty of water too to help it flush out your system. So I would say spiritual properties, good luck, fortune, things like that. Okay, so always, if you're going to forage, be sure you're getting the right plant. I think goldenrod is fairly obvious. Oh, and also, this actually relieves allergies. It doesn't cause allergies. Usually, ragweed grows nearby. And that's where people get confused. It's the ragweed that causes your allergies. This does not. This will help your allergies. It will relieve them. I don't know that it's exactly a cure, more of a constant, like if you were taking vitamins, you might want to take this a little every day to keep your allergies at bay. I don't think if you take it during an allergy attack, it's going to alleviate it, but it's more of a preventative, okay? So what I do is I go out, my animals, or I don't know was with them this morning. I go out and I harvest it. I make sure, I always look like at the leaves also, not just the flower, okay? Because I need to make sure. Now, goldenrod's very easy, and it is just, so common in the Americas, North America. This is Canadian goldenrod. Beautiful plant, beautiful flower, but I also check the leaves to make sure I have the right plant. Even though, I can spot things like mugwort and goldenrod a mile away, I still like to double check. So always do that. You might want to take a class or get a book or something on foraging before you start. Now me, I'm afraid to forage mushrooms. I haven't done that. So anyway, so I dehydrate this after I gather it. And then before I bring it in the house, I shake it to make sure there's nothing in there I don't want to bring inside. You might want to rinse up. Do not. You will find goldenrod growing like in the ditches along the roads and stuff. Don't harvest that. Okay, this goldenrod is from way, way back on our property along the woods. Nowhere near you don't want the exhaust and the pollution and trash from the roads could get into the goldenrod. We don't want that. So try to get it from a place is fairly pure. The less crap in there, the better. So that's what I did. I went way in the back by the woods. And then, after I cleaned it, I laid it out on my dehydrator. Okay? So then what I do, after it's dehydrated, all I do is I do have an herb stripper, which I probably should use, but it does, it's very easy to take off. I just kind of go backwards, like from the top down to get my flowers off. Now you use both flowers and leaves. When it's in season, when a plant is blooming, I do put in some of the leaves, but I go more for the flowers because there's not gonna be any more flowers for another year after this. And I just, scrape it all off. You want to get it off your stems. And, the flowers are nice and tiny. So that's easy. But then, let's see. My leaves, I got some leaves here. You do the same thing. You just go backwards. And you just kind of scrape it down into your bowl or whatever you're putting it into. Okay. Then what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to keep some in a jar for home use. And I'm also going to package some up to take to my booth at the flea market. Okay. So, after you get your leaves, I'm sure other people have better ways of doing this. This is just my method. I like to take my very dry leaves, and it's very easy. It only takes a second, and just do that till it's ground up. So that's how I process my herbs. I've had an interest in natural healing for a long time. I study it a lot. Not that I've taken classes, but I recently found out in our family, on my father's side, there's always a lot of talk about people having a connection spiritually, a strong spiritual connection. So I have my one uncle, he is very knowledgeable with family history, and I was very, very curious. So I asked him about this. I said, what is the connection? Who has what? And he said, my grandma, your great-grandma, was a healer, like you are. And I thought he was getting me confused with my cousin, because I have a cousin who's an energy healer, and she's amazing. She's so good. She did a session on me while she was in Pittsburgh and I was here. And boy, it was something else. So I was a little confused. So I asked for clarification, and he said, what you do with your herbs and essential oils and things like that, he says, that's what great grandma did. She says, you're just like her at that. So I really believe these interests and just having this natural inclination to certain things is ancestral. And I'm not talking about just this or just spiritual stuff. I mean, any talent you have, I have a feeling there's a lot of ancestral background in there, and that you are spiritually receiving ancestral knowledge. And I really feel I get that from my family, particularly my great-grandma, whose name was Ethel Newell Buhite, or Buhite, depending on which section of the family you ask. Her parents were from Wales. She was Welsh. And I guess that's where I get it from. So I'm really like into herbs and stuff like that. And as my uncle said, it's like you inherited it from my grandmother. So I find that very fascinating. So anyways, again, I am not a professional though, okay? It's just something I like to do. Always check with your doctor before using any of this stuff. Do research to see what's the best way to use it for you also. You know, when you talk to your doctor, you want to have information and questions, okay? So, that is Goldenrod for today. My cats and I had a great time harvesting it yesterday. And we will have more on herbs and foraging and stuff like that. Let's see. I do have a couple other foraging videos you might want to look into. Last spring, I foraged wild garlic mustard. I made some dishes with that was so good. And so you might want to look that up. So, I think I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful